Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I'm Andrew Tolentino. This is Dan Hitt. And today we have a special guest here. We have Leafs own Scott Jordan, and we're going to be busting open 2 boxes of Leaf 2011 U.S. Army All-American Bowl trading cards here. And Scott, since you know quite a bit about the product, why don't you give us a rundown, sort of an introduction before we get to ripping?
Well, we looked at this game for several years, but even before I came on board, and Brian Gray, our president, was the one who said, we need to look at this as a property for football that could be equivalent to a Bowman property, where speculators and people who want to go out and purchase cards and trade on their future value would have an opportunity to participate in the football market, since the draft market really has not presented anything that was really attractive. So
Gotcha.
We wanted to make sure that we put together a product that appealed to those people who wanted to collect football players, wanted to collect football cards, and wanted advanced opportunities to purchase and speculate on card values before these guys ever turn pro.
Right.
So in essence, these are going to be the only cards available of these players for the next 3 years until they come out into the draft. 3, 4, or 5 years in the case of Ryan Mallett, I guess you would say.
Speaking of speculations, you got a guy on the box cover here, Sony Michel there. Go ahead and, well, I guess we can start to open and just go ahead and give us a little rundown on him, why you chose him as a poster boy for the product.
Well, interestingly enough, one of our distributors emailed us about 3 weeks before the game and sent us a YouTube video of this kid who played in the youth version of the All-American football game in 2010.
Right.
And I thought, well, yeah, that's not a big deal. I mean, and I saw the video, and I saw a bunch of little kids, and then I saw one kid who was head and shoulders above everyone. And as I described to you guys earlier, it looked like a youth football game where Adrian Peterson was carrying the ball.
Right.
And nobody was touching him. He was running in and out. Turns out he ran for 275 yards in that game and got 4 touchdowns.
And this is an 8th grader, you said.
At the time, he was an 8th grader. Since then, he's played his freshman year of high school. He also, as I told you, played varsity football as an 8th grader and ran for 1,825 yards and 20 touchdowns as a varsity football player in the 8th grade.
I don't know if there are any stand reactions, but I bet if there were parents in the stands watching that game on the opposing team, I'd be pretty terrified of
I'm sure they were.
a kid of that stature. Yeah.
Scott, I'm going to give you half of my packs. So we've got
That's not very
2
fair.
packs here. Well, we'll see who wins.
See how it goes down.
Hey, tell us.
We can play Need It, Got It. Okay, got it.
There you go.
I
For
need
those
all
who don't know, the Army All-American Bowl is a high school all-star football game.
It is a high school
That's
all-star
happened
football
every year
game.
for the past...
Since
I don't know,
2010,
Okay.
excuse me, 2000.
Yeah,
Sorry,
about
this
10
is
years.
this was they skipped 1 year, and this was the 11th year of their existence. Let me read you a small list of the who's who that have played in this game.
Every year they've had NFL guys come out of there.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, and
So,
NFL
yeah.
stars.
Not
Not just NFL drafted.
Still in San Antonio,
Superstars, yeah.
They want to get
Still in San
a good
Antonio.
sneak peek of it.
Give us some of the
And
names.
this is the who's who of high school football every year.
Absolutely.
Mark Sanchez, Adrian Peterson, Tim Tebow, Terrell Pryor, Reggie Bush, Vince Young, Deshaun Jackson, and Ndamukong Suh, Beanie Wells, Chad Henne, Percy Harvin, Eric Berry. This year's draft class: Ryan Mallett, Blaine Gabbert, Tyrod Taylor, DeMarco Murray. Every year there are significant impact players that come into the draft that have played in this game because of the rich history and tradition and the fact that it is the elite all-star high school football game that's being played today.
Isn't that something?
Gotcha.
So last year you guys put out a set.
Actually, we put out a set in 2009.
ago,
That was our
right.
first set, and we were late to the party. I think Brian and the president of the promotional company that puts on the event talked about a week before the game and decided to do a license. So It was very last minute. We didn't have an opportunity to get very many autographs from the players. We only got one game used jersey. So it was not our best effort, but it was something to introduce this concept into the marketplace. And then in 2010, we went together with a full pack product. We had autographs of virtually every player. We used used equipment to create cards, and it was really, really strong product. This year we made some changes. We went with the all autograph format instead of having unsigned memorabilia cards.
We're offering 12 autographs.
And 12 autographs in a box.
And they're all top loaded here.
Mm-hmm. Plus we got, I see I've got something special in here.
Oh, do you?
Yeah,
I see something
do.
unusual.
Right in the
Hey, there we go. We got two specials.
One of the things that's kind of interesting, I think, about a product like this is that it's a early opportunity to take a look at these guys' autographs, and it'll be interesting to watch as their autographs evolve. This guy, Christian French, for instance, I'm not saying his autograph is childish by any means, but I think that he's going to get some practice, and it's going to look a lot better here in the future. So that's kind of an interesting thing.
It is so shorter. It is really
shorter,
interesting.
definitely.
Yeah, if I tell you a little story, it's interesting to watch when we go down and have these guys sign. They sign as part of the registration process, and you'll have two guys sit next to each other, and one of them is an accomplished, practiced signer.
Yeah.
And it takes him 20 minutes to sign his stuff. And then you got a guy next to him who's never been asked to do this in his life, and it takes him an hour and a half to do the same amount of cards because he hadn't had the practice. He's not accomplished at doing this.
Yeah, hadn't had the practice just sitting in class holding a notebook, repeatedly signing his name.
And having done this for a long time, it is amazing to me to watch how player signatures evolve over the course of time. I'll never forget we did a autograph signing with Alfonso Soriano back when I was at Just Miners. Okay. And at the beginning of the signing, he was literally signing block letters. And then a few minutes later, he's doing a full signature. It was the most amazing thing I've ever seen.
Speaking of our cover boy, our poster.
Oh my gosh, you got a Sony Michel.
We got a Sony Michel number 10 of 20, and it looks like this is definitely an on-card autograph here.
Wow.
And as you were mentioning earlier, there's a tell me about this certificate back here.
Because we were really late to get on board with Sony and who he was, and it was a last-minute addition into the product, and we did not prepare an autographed version of his card. So when we had the opportunity to sit down and sign, have Sony sign autographs for us, we used his regular card, and so that we could prevent fraud in the marketplace and have people get cards from him in person and present them as Leaf Authentic cards, we decided to use the Leaf Authentics authentication certificate with the card so that you would know unquestionably that that's an on-card signature that we did. And we also had him sign signature labels, and those will appear in what is considered game action autographs.
Remember this name, remember this face, Sony Michel. Mark our words.
And for a guy like that, that'll be his only card for the next at least 6 years.
Yeah, exactly.
So, if he turns into any kind of marketable player coming out of high school who's heavily recruited, maybe he ends up doing an ESPN special announcing his college signing, then there's going to be a lot of speculation on that card.
Well, that's the thing with these cards. The whole recruiting game happens around these things. I mean, when a guy decides to go to a certain school, then fans of that school are going to be like, he's got a card, and go get him.
Yeah.
That's what makes it like USA stuff is appealing the same way.
Exactly. And we keep telling these kids, I mean, they're not happy signing all these autographs, but we tell them, say, look, when you get on campus, and you want to be a truly big man on campus, whip out your little trading card and show it to the ladies.
Scott, in this product you have, if I'm not mistaken, 98 card base set.
Yes.
They're all autographed. Everything's autographed.
Yes.
And then there's a tour version, autograph version, which are all on-card autographs, if I'm not mistaken.
Right.
Same player list. Here's the tour on-card autographs.
We really...
And they're tougher.
They're a lot tougher. The challenge, we know that the collector wants an on-card autograph. At the same time, the collector wants photography showing game action.
Right.
And
and no redemption.
We can't do an on-card autograph of game action because the game hasn't been played when we see the players. So we've got a balance and a mix of on-card autographs using the photography taken when they do the selection tour, and then we have signature label autographs for using the photography from the game.
All right, and you also have parallels. This happens to be the black parallel of the base set. The black refers to that kind
Stripe
of design,
up
the
top.
stripe at the top. There's also a gold version.
Yeah, and there's actually
It's
some
tougher.
black in the middle section
Okay,
to
a little
differentiate
darker.
it from the other.
There you
And
go.
then those are serial numbered too.
10.
Yeah, so in our pack here, we got, at least in my half of the pack, I got a black autograph serial number to 10, an on-card autograph to the tour, and then you've got your half of my pack. Let's check that out.
We've got 1, 2 tour autograph unnumbered. I've got a tour autograph black numbered to 20. Mm-hmm. I've got a Young Guns, which Young Guns is the quarterback insert set, and that's a black parallel version of that.
They're serial number to 50, right? Oh, the black parallel is less,
10.
though.
Yeah,
10.
they're really short.
The
Those
base are
numbers
50
right.
of the Young Guns.
Of the inserts, the Young Guns, the Touchdown Heroes, and the Big Hitters, those are all numbered to all the variations are numbered, as opposed to being a common version without number.
And the most commons are 50, and then the blacks are 20, right?
Right, blacks are 20 and the gold. Anybody pull a gold autograph?
No, I don't think
No
that I
gold.
did. Maybe I
Those are
missed
tough.
one.
Those are tough. So there's Big Hitters, and then I got a dual plate.
Oh,
There you go.
Yes.
Good and match your dual plate with my single plate there. It's a
pretty.
it's
See
a
that?
And the
black
pretty
plate.
plates are autographed.
Yeah.
Which
Yes.
Yeah.
And with the labels.
really,
Mhm.
really helps.
Oh, wow. Sweet. I got Malcolm Brown and Herschel Sims.
There you go.
And Malcolm Brown is a huge stud.
So you mentioned how some of the players sort of noted autographing as a kind of a laborious task.
Oh, yeah.
Where they're the guys who got hold of their on cards, who were signing on card. What were their faces like? Did you see them glow when they were sort of realizing some of their dreams?
Yeah, they
along
really
the way?
enjoyed seeing, seeing their first cards out and being able to physically hold them, touch them. And there was a lot of trading among the players
I
because
bet.
each of the players was given a couple of sample cards, and so there was some trading going on so that they could sign some for their parents and give some to some other players and trade them out.
Gotcha.
Scott, give us real quick a couple of the big names that we can expect, at least early on. It's all speculation, of
Who
course.
should we look out for?
Yeah, who are the
Collectors
big,
look
big
out
guns
for?
in here?
Definitely, I'm excited about Sony Michel because this could be a once in a lifetime type of player to be in this product. Definitely Bubba Starling, who baseball speculators are very familiar with, who is likely going to be one of the top 5 guys taken in the draft.
As you can tell, it's Bo Jackson.
Even though you didn't pull one, I think Chris just showed us one of the on video, one of the retrospective cards of Bubba Starling in the old bow nose style.
Right.
And we also, there's just such a ton of players. Kid Malcolm Brown, who's going to University of Texas. Herschel Sims, who's I'm not sure where he's going. Aaron Green, running back, going to Nebraska. Charles Jackson is a defensive back going to Nebraska. There's a kid named DeAnthony Thomas who's going. We didn't see one of his cards pulled, but he's going to USC, I believe, and that guy was one of the most impressive players we saw at the game. I mean, he was absolutely all over the field. Dual player, was playing defensive back as well as wide out. He was everywhere. George Farmer's a big recruit going to Southern Cal. James Wilder, son of the same name, who's going to Florida State, could be a big time prospect as well.
So there's a number of these guys that are obviously going to the big college football programs.
Right.
They're going to get a chance to play. They're going to get a chance to star, and some of these guys are going to have a shot at All-American, probably will be All-Americans, and maybe even a Heisman candidate.
Yeah.
Wouldn't be surprised. I mean, to look at the game the year before last, Marcus Lattimore was one of the big guys in that game, and freshman All-America, All-SEC, has a chance realistically to be a Heisman candidate his sophomore year at South Carolina.
Absolutely. Well, you guys have sort of brought out the cream of the crop at the high school and even the junior high at high school level. We can't wait to see these guys excel on the college playing field, and then eventually in the NFL. So yeah, that's 2011 U.S. Army. It's kind of a mouthful. U.S. Army All-American Bowl trading cards.